Thank you for joining Jeremy Knight with the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Sorry, it's a bad habit from my other channel. No, but thank you for joining this channel. So this is my second channel, and it's all dedicated to kind of sharing some of the successes that I'm having in my business with YouTube and sharing what other agents are seeing success with their YouTube channels. If you don't know my story at all, I mean, really, I had a YouTube channel for 3 or 4 years. I was doing little with, we were already doing great business, my wife and I. And then around December of last year, I talked with Christina Malcolm, who's going to be on the show, and some others, and really wanted to kind of figure out why my channel wasn't growing, as part of all these groups, and things were just slow. So I made a change in my channel in December. Since then, this year we will close. Right now, under contract and close is 19 million. Yes, 19 million from primarily YouTube and video. I mean, it's crazy. We have a lot more in a contract than that, but that's what I'm just counting for video. So one of the people that really fueled me and helped me is Malcolm. So we're going to bring him on. Got a lot of positive things to say about this guy and what he's done with his channels. Malcolm has, it feels like 15 different channels. He's got thousands and thousands of subscribers from his real estate channel. He's got a survival channel. Although he posted a picture of a coyote and didn't realize it's a coyote, and I had to tell him it's a saber-tooth something or other. So we'll get to that. just kidding with him there. But anyway, if you have any questions today, we are going to talk about content. Do me a favor. If you like, dislike, agree with, get an epiphany, I want to see something in the comments. Just tell me what you agree with, you don't agree with. If you want to argue with us, whatever you want to do, drop comments in there, because that's going to help other people kind of see what's going on. If you have successes in your channel and you want to share them, put that in the comments, because we want to hear it. But now we bring on my friend Malcolm, who I love to death. Let's see it. Malcolm, welcome to the channel, man.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So explain to everyone who may not know you. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who know you, but I want to hear about all the channels you have, all the subscribers you have, and what has changed for your business.
Right. Yeah. So I've been uploading content to YouTube since about 2014. That's really when I kind of started experimenting with it. And I have an outdoor channel called Survival Know-How, and I've been uploading to that just kind of like in my free time as just a hobby. And that one is up to 96,000 subscribers now. I think 8 million total views across all my videos. So I'm hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers on that one in the next couple of months. And then I get a silver play button, which I can hang up here on the wall. Then 2016, I got my real estate license. I was kind of doing it part-time at that point. 2017, I got out of the military, started doing real estate full-time. And that's really when I started like doubling down on YouTube for my real estate business. And late 2017, early 2018, I started like generating leads and business from this. And I really started doubling down on that. In the last couple of years, I've just been really focusing on my real estate YouTube channel. And now that's my primary source of business, just like Jeremy. I got a couple other small channels. I have one where I just like Jeremy is doing, I got a live stream that I do all about real estate, helping all about YouTube, helping real estate agents out. I started a political channel like a year ago. That one got, 4,000 subscribers, and a couple other weird little small channels. But right now, my primary one's my outdoor channel. And then I've really been focusing on my real estate channel, which is up to 12,000 subscribers or so. And the good thing about that is that it's kind of diversifying your income. Like I can actually make money off that. This year, I'm going to make about $15,000 or so just from my other YouTube channels. So just kind of an alternative source of income as well. Where you go? You still there?
I'm still here. Yeah. Sorry. I was clicking around, clickerson. So you're going to do, just from your survival channel, just from the stuff on there, you're going to make 15 grand just from kind of doing some stuff on there, not from just but from your other channels, just as a side.
Yeah, just from the AdSense. This year, I'll make about 15,000, a little over 15,000 actually, just from the ads playing on them, and then also a handful of affiliate links on my YouTube channels. So I mean, it's like a nice little passive income source, and who knows what's going to happen with the housing market. So it's nice having this alternative stream of income. So right now I'm bringing in about $1,000 a month from my YouTube channel. So it's kind of been ramping up at the end of this year.
Nice. So, all right. So I got to ask you a question. So back when the, how do you say this? So you don't
Corona.
Yeah. Coronavirus hit. I was in stride. So what I was doing in my channel is my whole goal was to put one video a week every Tuesday, 9 a.m., put a video out about Austin, about, I was down to 4 pillars of content, trying to, keep it fresh. And coronavirus hit, and I sat back and was like, okay, well, no one's going to watch my videos. The market sucks. Everybody's losing their jobs. All this stuff's happening. And I looked over, and Malcolm was just cranking out content. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sitting here doing nothing, right? I was like, what am I doing with my hands? I was doing nothing. And so, I think there was a week where I just dove into the darkness like some people do or did. And I looked over and I saw Malcolm. Malcolm put out a video about how to make a mask for your channel. And how many views did that get?
So that's up to like 950,000 views.
That's crazy.
That one YouTube video. Yeah.
That's crazy. So I was thinking to myself in real estate, like, look, people might not watch my videos now. My content may not be really seen, but this is all stuff people will see in the future. And so I cranked out the content as hard as I could because I was watching you crank out the content. So I really want to thank you for that, because you were an inspiration to me. And from there, my business is, I was almost late coming on here because it was coming from an inspection. So luckily it was in my neighborhood. So I sold another one in my neighborhood.
Dude, that's awesome. That's the best kind right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of contents though, I want to ask you, this whole stream is about content. So you've put out a ton of great content. The video that's done very well, sneaky well for me, it's like not even really 1,000 views, is about my neighborhoods. You look at other agents do their content, right? About what content they do. And so, I think Colin had done a video, if you're from here, if this, right? And so I did that kind of sneaky about my neighborhood because my neighborhood's kind of tucked away. And so, I said, there's a secret neighborhood that nobody knows about. And only maybe the people that live here don't even realize they're there because it's so secret. And you might know, and I talked about how you have to pick it, like there's dog poop that people leave and they complain about on Facebook. There's people that drive too fast. There's kind of a comical video about my neighborhood. And I've gotten so much business in my neighborhood from that. This year I will close probably $4 million of business from my neighborhood.
That's wild, man. That's great.
Yeah. So I want to hear from you. And this was leading to my question. Everybody puts out content, right? And we look back on our content and we go, this was good content, this was bad content. I want to ask you, what was the content you put out that you look back later and said, God, I wish I didn't put that out? Or you look at it now and you're like, you know what? You've changed a little bit, right? Yeah. You've always progressed in how you do your videos. What's something you either took out of a videos that you no longer will do again? Or like, what's the worst video you're just like, I will never do this content again?
Yeah, probably going back to like my first handful of videos. You look at those, they're from 2016, and it's me in like a suit and a tie, and I'm in standing in front of a green screen. I just made the background all white, and I'm super like professional and formal, and that's what everybody else is doing at the time. That's the only real estate agents I could find. They're all super professional, and yeah, I quickly stopped doing that type of content. It really is about building that relationship with your audience and trying to be much more authentic and kind of casual and just kind of building that relationship, and being really stuffy and like, look at me, that kind of content does not do well. And I had to learn that lesson. And I learned that back in 2016 when I uploaded my first real estate videos.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. So in my videos, and I've noticed a lot of agents do this, and everybody's got to, like you just said, know their audience, right? And so my audience has evolved. One thing that I see a lot of agents do is they introduce themselves in the beginning of the video, and they spend 30 seconds talking about how, if you want to buy in this area, give me a call. And then by the time they're done with that, they're 40 seconds into the video, and I'm like, shoot me, I'm over this video. I don't even want to watch it now. is that something you might have like took out of your videos to begin with too?
I don't remember if I really, I may have, I always knew to keep my call to action pretty short in the beginning, but you're absolutely right, man. I mean, I've talked to some people over the years who are like, yeah, I make a YouTube videos, and they send it to me. In the first 2 minutes is just them talking about themselves. And I'm like, dude, your audience retention graph must be terrible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I even had some people tell me like, well, I studied my audience retention graph. Everybody drops off my video. So I have to get my call to action in before everybody drops off. It's like, no. That's why they're dropping off.
Yeah.
Because that's all you're doing is just talking about themselves. That's such a huge mistake. And so I tell people, if you do want to do some kind of call to action, you know, just, hey, I'm a real estate agent, make it like 5 seconds, like 3 to 5 seconds. It has to be really short and punchy, and just get to that content as soon as you possibly can. That's pretty important.
Yeah. So I've done the whole thing where I have a hook, right? At the beginning, I'm like, I ask a question, or or I'll put in like something that's going to be the end of the video and put it at the beginning. And then I'll do like the, 8-second like video play where it's like me, like my intro video. I think I'm going to remove that going forward. Christina's like highly told me not to do that, or not to use that. But I think, for me, what I'm going to start doing, so usually I do that, and then it's like, hi, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. And then I just go into whatever the content is, right? And I've noticed a lot of people that spend so much time in that front part saying, or I would have your favorite, Jeremy Knight, I'm a real estate agent in Austin, Texas. I sell homes, blah, 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 whatever. And since I've stopped doing that and just gone to the, hi, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor, like I did the intro of this, my subs have gone through the roof. Now, I don't know if it's just content, I put out more content, or I stopped asking people for business. I think that's one thing real estate agents have a hard time understanding. We're all about scripts and call to action, scripts and call to action. How am I asking for business? I think YouTube, if you come off salesy, you're losing your audience, because your audience doesn't want to be sold. They want to listen, right?
They want value. Nobody likes getting sold to. I don't even like getting sold to. I actually really hate it. And like, I consider myself not a salesperson, but like a marketer. That's what we're doing. We're attracting people to us. And yeah, the audience, they can smell that a mile away, and they're not going to watch your video, and they're not going to reach out to you if you're too salesy, too direct with them like that.
Yeah, I agree. So one thing is it falls into content. I see people ask, at the beginning to like, comment, subscribe, right? In their intro. Is that something you do in your videos? Do you think that adds value? Do you think that helps people subscribe?
So I don't do it. I've asked some people in a couple of Facebook groups, like, hey, when you ask people to subscribe, do you see a big difference in your subscription feed? Some people have said that they do see that. I definitely don't ask people to like and comment anymore. So one thing with the comments is that at this point, majority of your views come from mobile devices. And you notice that with a mobile device, for somebody to comment, they actually have to scroll past like 10 videos before they get to the comment section now.
Yeah.
So if you're asking people to comment, let's say at the beginning of the video, you're telling them, hey, stop watching this video, go scroll through 10 other videos, but don't click on any of them. And you're probably losing some viewers who do get distracted and click on one of those videos. So I don't like, if somebody's in a trance and I got their attention and they're in a trance, I don't want to like, hey, stop watching me and go down there and do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think about it that way, but that's really smart. Okay.
So if I have any call to actions like that, I usually do it at the end these days. But I do know some big YouTubers like, yeah, check this out. So to look at the comments, you got to like scroll way down here.
And of course, you're looking at Graham Steffens.
Right. So I usually don't ask people to leave comments anymore. And it's that audience retention graph is so important. You got to get to that content as soon as possible. And if you can shave 5 seconds off your intro and get to that content sooner by not having those call to actions, I say go for it.
Yeah, even Ian's got a very good YouTube channel as well here in the Austin market. He says he'll tell a 7-minute story before a 45-second intro. And like, I tell them 47-minute story before I start.
Maybe it means like instead of.
Yeah, instead of, yeah.
I will get that in check in future videos.
Yeah. yeah, I think that, since I've done that, I've noticed a huge difference. Like, I mean, here's a prime example. So, Javier Vendana did that video, and here's the one thing about YouTube real estate, right? A lot of people put out content, a lot of people put out good content, and a lot of people put out bad content. But when you see good content, you got to, know your audience and maybe make that content. So Javier put out this video, and I thought about it and thought about how it related to the Austin market. So I made the same video on Tuesday. We're not going to spend the whole time talking about my channel, but we're going to talk about yours mainly. But this video we just put out, and we were just talking about this before we got on, but since Tuesday, 4.7K views. Yeah, right at that. My subscribers, before I started this, my subscribers were at, like, I want to say 1978.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've seen 1978 to 101 subs. I didn't ask at the beginning of that video. I didn't ask for anything. I just said there's an issue in the Austin market and we need to talk about it. Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, if you're an Austin realtor, and went straight into it. So I think that might have been good for that video. It could have been the content. The subscriber count's gone through the roof. I don't know, but either way, like, now you did the same video. What is your video? You just put it out like yesterday afternoon. What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So what's interesting about your video is that you didn't have any B-roll, any graphics, any animations, anything like that. It's literally just you speaking. And I think that that's an important skill that people overlook, is that you don't want to just develop your editing skills and learn all these fancy new tricks. You want to learn your presentation skills and how to keep somebody's attention with literally just the words coming out of your mouth. And that is an essential skill. And I mean, that's actually what Javier is really great at as well. He gets people's attention and they get stuck watching his content, even though he never films outside of his office and doesn't really have all that much B-roll or anything like that. But yeah, so I saw your success with that. And so I tried something similar, where I just turned on the camera and just had kind of a heart-to-heart with the camera. And I did mine all in one take and just kind of talked about what I'm seeing in the market. And yeah, my video is doing really well. Well, it's got, mine was a little bit longer since it's all one take. My average watch time is 8 minutes, which is really, really good. And then my click-through rate is like 13 or 14% right now. And so yours, YouTube goes, it tests it, and then it kind of cools down a little bit. Then it tests it again with the new audience, kind of cools down. That's a very typical pattern to see it kind of go up in waves like that. And so I think I'm just kind of on that first little wave right now. It's kind of hit a lull right now. So I'm hoping tomorrow it'll start spiking back up and kind of go to the next level with it. But you're talking about how it's hard to find time. Oh yeah, so that's huge red flags in the housing market right there. And you're talking about how
views though in 22 hours.
Yeah.
That's not, so hold on, for everybody out there, if you want to put out a decent video, put up a camera, come talk about what's going on in your market from your heart, and that's part of the other thing is, like, you really, you got to know your titles. It's more about the titles and the thumbnail. Because hold on, I'm going to pull up your thumbnail again.
Yeah, I'm happy with that thumbnail.
Look how great this thumbnail is. Just your face with a house on fire. I can pull up mine. Mine was a little more, I think, dramatic.
Well, I saw yours. I was like, oh man, that looks pretty sharp. Big fireball on yours.
Yeah, can you see it on mine?
Yeah. I was actually trying to find those graphics and I couldn't find it. And I was like, I'll just find a house on fire.
Yeah, that was pretty. That's what I initially tried to do, but then, yeah.
But I mean, that's a great thumbnail. Like, you notice how big your face is. You notice how much emotion and expression you have on that face, and your contrast and saturation is very high on yours. I think mine's a little muted. I kind of could have cranked that contrast up a bit. But so you're talking before about how it's hard to find time to actually make content, and I think that I have a problem where I overanalyze things and I spend too much time editing my content and doing all these graphics and fancy B-roll and stuff. And I don't put out enough content. So one thing I want to do is try and do more of these, just straightforward, talking to the camera, having kind of a heart-to-heart. I may make that like a weekly thing, or maybe, 2-3 times a week, just simple content that I can just quickly film and upload in the same day. So that's kind of one strategy I want to implement in the upcoming weeks and months.
I think that's the hardest part too with some of the videos that we do, right? So you spend, as far as content goes, right? You come up with an idea, you play with it in your brain about how you're gonna, this, at least my, I'll write down all my video ideas. Obviously, I have 4 pillars of content that I work out on my channel. So I have to fit it out if it's gonna be, this week is gonna be on this area of my content. But it takes so much time to play with it in your brain, then go research the content because you don't want to like say something false.
Yeah.
And then you got to shoot it, and then you got to edit it. And now you spent 25 hours on a video when you could have been, calling people, going to appointments, or you get to the point you're so busy. That's why on my channel, I started doing some live streams to kind of filter in, because I've gotten to the point that we're so busy, I can't do that. So, yeah. So how's the process for you to come up with that content though? Like what's
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I'm just always thinking about, trying to keep an eye out for different opportunities. And yeah, sometimes I'll browse around YouTube and see if something kind of sparks an interest in me, or I'll even do a Google search and kind of look for something. So I saw I think I saw an article not that long ago, what it's like living in Maryland. And I was like, ooh, I like that title. It's like, that's all I'm really going to take from that article. I didn't even read the article. I just like that title and that concept, what it's like living in Maryland. And I may try that video as well. And I may try to make it this exact same format we're talking about, where it's just kind of a heart-to-heart, like an honest thing. Like, hey, this is a no BS guide to what it's really like living in Maryland, the pros and cons, the good, bad, and the ugly. So that's kind of one other video that I'm planning on doing. But yeah, most of the time, man, like if I ever use another video for inspiration, 90% of the time, I don't even watch the video. It's just that title and the idea for the video. That's one of the most important things, is finding those ideas, those good ideas for videos. And, I have no problem kind of browsing around YouTube and Google and everything to look for those ideas.
I think, even Rebecca just said she's looking at simpler. And hold on, Patricia, I am going to get to your question. I promise. I see it. It's a very good question. But I think that's part of the problem too, as we're trying to think of content, right? We're trying to think about how long we're going to keep people on the video, how is the layout going to be? And I think what you said was very important. And what Rebecca just said is sometimes you just have to make it simple, right? All the graphics look sleek. That's the thing with my videos. I hear a lot of people say, oh, your videos are so great. And I do a lot of B-roll and stuff like that. But then I look at other people's like editing skills and how they edit. I'm like, that's way better than my stuff. And I think at a certain point, you have to just kind of take the content you want, figure out how to convey the message the right way. And some of that other stuff, the minutia, just throw that shit out the window and just make it a video people will watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you have 2 types of quality. You have like production quality, which is like the editing, the camera, the lights and everything. And you have content quality. The content quality is always so much more important than the production quality. You can literally just shoot it on your phone. As long as the content is good, your delivery of it is good and engaging, like that video can do well. And that's so much more important than like the production quality and having a little studio and audio and all that stuff.
Yeah. And to the point of your video here, I've just pulled up my channel. This video I did right here, what it's really like moving to Austin. That one was a good one. What I did is I went and met with past clients and asked them just to do like their experience. I had 6 questions. I asked each one. I put up so many live videos in here. It really messes with my stuff. I did this one, what it's like moving to Texas.
Yeah, that's great, man.
And it's not going to replay. There you go. It's literally me walking on the beach talking about my experience. That's it. Nothing crazy.
5,000 views, man. Yeah.
Yeah. 5,000 views. So that's why, I think sometimes we need to stop worrying about how much production value we put into a video and just make sure we're conveying the message the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about the message. It's about the content. That's the most important thing. And so many people I think they kind of get distracted and they get overwhelmed or intimidated by the production and the editing and all that stuff. and it's kind of like it's good to have, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the actual message and the content. Malcolm, what are your pillars of content? Yeah, that's a great question. We found backtracked at the beginning of this year. I was actually right where you were at, man. I had about 2,000 subscribers at the beginning of 2020. And I had one video really take off, and it was 10 hacks to pay your mortgage off early. And that one video got me 5,000 subscribers from that one video. So I went from 2,000, like 7,000 subscribers. And after that happened, I had to kind of shift my content, and the majority of my audience wasn't subscribing to me about Maryland content anymore. They're subscribing to me for my real estate content. And so I've kind of shifted the type of content that I make. I'm really going after that ad revenue money now, trying to go after a bigger national audience. And so my pillar of content, I'm still experimenting with it, honestly, right now. One, I'm doing real estate investing content. That content, I may drop that pillar, honestly. Very few real estate investing channels have any significant views, except for bigger pockets. Very few real estate investors have big views on that. Then I started doing personal finance content as well. That's a really hard topic to break into because there's so many big personal finance YouTubers. Then I'm doing like real estate finance, so like mortgage, paying off your mortgage and that kind of stuff. And then I'm doing stuff just about real estate. So those are kind of the 4 pillars of content I have right now. And I recently started a second channel where I'm just going to put my Maryland content on there. And I guess my pillars on there is, one, I make like relocation guide type videos. So kind of targeting those keywords, the search terms, moving to and living in. And it's just kind of like all about a specific area and, just about living there. And then really the other type of content I do on there is kind of like vlog type content where I go and explore some local attraction or a local park or something. And I just kind of film those kind of down and dirty on my phone. I usually show my family a lot more in those. And so those are kind of trying to build that relationship with the audience. And at the same time, kind of like showcasing something cool in Maryland that they can go and do. So that's really the 2 pillars of content I have on that channel right now. I need to put a lot more content on that one.
So I can tell you from my experience doing that content, maybe it was the time of year I put it out. It didn't work, right? Like all those videos that I did about, like, I did one on the Cathedral of Junk. I did one on, best tacos. If I probably put those videos out now with my subscriber count, they'll probably get views,
right?
But they're still in my roll of videos. If subscribers saw them, you'd see that they'd probably go look at them. And they have views now, but not where they should have been. So I think I've cut out the things to do section of my content because I really noticed there wasn't any views. I did, a whole one on like families, like what to do if you're a family, the fun events. I had my son on it. I had people like talking crap about my son. Like it was it was terrible. Like I was like, get out of here. So I've cut that out of my content because I feel like for my channel, it works. And this is the thing of anybody watching this video, you have to look at what's working for your channel and what you want to talk about, right? Certain things will work for you, certain things won't. I mean, Malcolm's video, are you seeing, are people on your channel finding value in those videos that you're doing?
Like you're talking about the vlog type videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So you're right that the purpose of those videos, like they're not discoverable videos. Like nobody is really going to they're not going to rank in any search. They're probably not going to go viral or anything with the type of titles and thumbnails that you can do. They're really only there for people who watch my other videos and look at my channel. That's really the only way for people to discover those videos. And so those videos, I see it as like a sales funnel. And you have those discoverable videos at the top. And so that's going to be your Austin, Texas video, your Austin market one. That's how people are finding your channel. And then they go a little bit deeper and they kind of build that relationship with you with these long type videos, or this is the personal videos. And so that's really the purpose of those, just kind of build that relationship with the audience on a little bit of a deeper level. They're not going to, and I know that ahead of time. I know they're not going to get tens of thousands of views or even thousands of views. If I get a couple hundred views, I'll be happy on that type of content.
Rebecca saw my video. Let's see, it's this one right here.
Yeah, I love those videos when you're interviewing.
Well, here's the thing: is I started those videos because I So, you know, a lot of those people are past clients or people I know. I found that I really liked going out and interviewing people. So, but the problem with COVID is you really can't like run around town and like throw a mic in somebody's face.
Right.
So, they get a little upset when you do that. So I had to like start doing that a little bit differently. So, you know, as part of R&Ding things, right? Ripping off and duplicating, as Tom Ferry would say. Jeremy and I are peers in a similar market. Should I copy his recent video? I would say, why not?
You know, I mean, let's say he did it. It's hard to say if it would do as well as your video, just being about the same topic. You know, his presentation may be a little bit different, but if he's got a little bit of an audience, you know, that type of video could do good for his audience specifically.
I would say almost do. I mean, you know, we're going to do videos differently, right? All of our stuff's differently. We talk about it's different. Our areas are different. So I'd say for this question, maybe you go a more wide net on it. Maybe talk about Texas in general. It's not hard to get the data for San Antonio. I don't know why anybody would want to live in Dallas or Houston, but sorry, Rebecca's on here. That was a cheap shot. Sorry, Rebecca. I would say maybe go wide net with it. You know, Malcolm's video that he did was pretty wide net because it was just talking about the market in general. He briefly talked about Maryland, but it was more of a wide net video, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, my audience has kind of shifted, and it's kind of frustrating. If I could go back and do it again, personally, I'd have one channel all about Maryland, and I would keep that about Maryland. And then I would have started a second channel to kind of go wide net and make these bigger, broader real estate videos. Because those two audiences are separate audiences, but I've kind of mixed them, and now my audience is from these bigger real estate videos, which is okay. Like, I mean, I'll just have to try to get up to Christina and Javier's level at some point. But you know, in my opinion, those aren't the best ones for lead generation. In my opinion, I think, you know, the type of content you're doing about Austin, Texas specifically are the ones that, so I look at it as a view to lead ratio. How many views you need on a video to generate some leads. And the type of content you're doing, you don't need that many views in order to get leads. You said you already got, what, 5 emails from that one video that you did, and you got less than, 5,000 views. So you got maybe 1,000 views to get one lead. When you make these bigger, broader videos, I think you need a lot more views before you actually get leads from it. But you got somebody like Christina Smallhorn who's getting 1.9 million views on some of her videos. Yeah, is getting 100,000 views on some of his videos.
Yeah,
with that business model, you need a lot of views if you want to use that for lead generation.
I think that, and I think that's a very important point. And the question, I think, the area that we're talking about, and there's another good question here by Ian, I'll pop up in a second. I think you said that you were talking about taking one, making something a second channel instead of having it on the same channel. I think that's what a lot of real estate agents struggle with when they're starting, because they don't really know. They're trying to get business from YouTube, right? You're trying to make videos to make, and if you're making videos to put in a real estate group to get real estate agents to like them and comment on them, they are not your audience. Stop making videos for real estate agents. If you're like, there's some groups out there that people post a video, it's like a listing video, and it's like, great, like you made some shots at realtors and stuff in it, but that doesn't really make somebody want to call you. So
right. You're absolutely right, man. It kind of, you sort of see in these weird toxic communities forming on Facebook where it's just like feedback loops. People are making content for other real estate agents just to show off. And they would get views. They would get views on their Facebook videos by sharing them in these groups. And they'd say, wow, look at me. I got all these views on Facebook and I got all these views on YouTube, but it's all just a mirage. It's all just nonsense. And it's just a weird little thing.
Yeah.
And that's why, Christina and I, we made a decision like, hey, we really don't want people sharing content in this group. Every now and then somebody will because they want feedback or something, that's fine. But we don't want it to be, hey, post your stuff here in order to get views on your videos.
And I did that the other day with the video that I put out. In fact, I edited it down a little bit because I asked like what the community felt about it. If you don't know, real estate, what is the name of the channel? Real Estate
YouTube Mastermind.
Yeah. But it wasn't the link from YouTube. It was just I uploaded it organically. because I didn't want to hurt my views. And I asked for feedback on it. I'd say if you're wanting feedback on any channel, for God's sakes, please stop putting your YouTube links and asking for feedback after you've already put the video out. You're going to get feedback on a video that you've already put out that's already on YouTube. And now if you take it off and try to put it back on because you actually got feedback, now you're going to get no views on it. So if you want feedback, upload it organically, ask for true feedback, and then put it on, because you're just killing your content. You're killing your channel. Okay, rant's over.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, though, is to upload it specifically in the Facebook group. And if you want good feedback, don't share your YouTube video anywhere, and actually look at your analytics. That's how you get the good feedback, is looking at your clean analytics.
Yeah. So Ian said here, when you create these channels, are they all under Malcolm Lawson, or you have like 3 different channels named 3 different things, right?
Yeah. So under my account, which I log into with my email address, I have like 10 different channels, and you can just create a new channel, and they're all different titles and everything. So Malcolm Lawson, YouTube Lead Gen, Survival Know-How, Living in Maryland. I had a political one for a while. I created one a little while ago about ambient sounds in the nature that you hear. I got too many channels.
You just had too much fun creating content.
Well, you know what? It's another pretty important point here, is that I'm making a huge mistake by doing that. That is it's a mistake, and like I know I'm making it. But I'm very ADD. I'm all over the place, and I get super focused on stuff at times. But like, honestly, if I would have put all my energy just into one YouTube channel, like my 100,000 subscriber channel could probably be at 300,000 if I put all my energy into that one channel. Or I could be up at 50,000 subscribers in my real estate channel if I put all my energy into that one. And so it is a bit of a mistake having too many channels and trying to divide up your time like that. This is I'm putting out something like 5 videos this week, if we count these live streams.
You are the content king.
But they're all on separate channels.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like one video a week on each of the channels. If I would have done the 5 videos on one channel, like that, it'd be huge. And so there's something else to keep in mind, that you don't want to spread yourself too thin. That's a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, and that's why on like this second channel I made, it's all live streams and conversation, right? I could edit these down and spend time, but then I'm taking, I just wanted to share this information with people, right? I wanted to be able, so taking an hour of my day is an hour of my day, but at the same time, like I'm sharing, I get people asking me so many questions, right? I'll post something and then they're messaging me, asking me all these questions. I'm like, ask your questions on here. I'd love to answer them during this hour. See, now I'm time blocking this hour to answer these questions during this hour versus like spending a lot of time messaging people. So this channel is not created to make money off of. If it gets monetized, great. If it doesn't, cool. I just, I like having cool people on my channel and chatting with. Rebecca asks, I wonder if links to an unlisted video would make a difference or just a better organic upload.
Yeah, so my understanding is that while it's unlisted, YouTube's not analyzing your audience or doing anything like that. So if you have an unlisted video, yeah, you can send it around to people, and that won't like count towards the YouTube algorithm until you go public with it, and then they really start analyzing the audience. So you could do that. And I have my channel default set to automatically upload everything as unlisted, and that way you can kind of send it around and get feedback or get these subtitles made or something like that for it.
And then if you pull it off and then make edits to it and then put it back up, it's not really hurting that video at all.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. If it was never published, never public.
Tell Malcolm if he needs a realtor and Moco to help him out. Happy to help. I don't know where Moco is.
Sure.
Don't know that one.
I don't know Moco.
All right, so let's ask a good question. So everybody asked me which video I did that got me the most subscribers or that I got the most business from.
Yeah.
And I have a very standard answer to this, but I want to hear your, because you do a fair amount from YouTube, right? I mean, you do a fair amount that's probably your primary lead source, right?
Yeah, I'll probably do maybe like 8 million this year from YouTube, and I'm not in a big city like Austin. I'm in I have a bunch of like little medium-sized cities around me. My average price point is 375, 380, something like that. But yeah, I'll probably do at least 8 million in volume this year from my YouTube business, my YouTube leads, and that's in addition. And then I've referred out a lot more business this year as well. And then, making like 15 grand or so from the videos themselves.
That is the biggest reason why on my channel, I've been doing live streams with people in other cities.
Yeah.
So, and there's content that I don't really want to talk about in Austin, but I'll bring people on and talk about it that know that area, right? If I don't know, like the East Side, I've done quite a few big deals on the East Side, but if I do content on the East Side, people will reach out to me and want me to help them on the East Side.
Right.
What did I do? I brought on my friend Melissa. We talked about the East Side, where to buy on the East Side. And I get people direct message me, hey, Jeremy, can you put me in touch with that girl? Boom, referral fee. And
yeah, I love it.
People, so that's one thing I was about to ask this question to you, was that if you're in an area that doesn't get a lot of business, how can you use your YouTube channel to still get business? And that's it right there. Create wider spread content and get referrals.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That is a great business model right there. I think, going specifically after referrals is not really something I'm super passionate about, but I'm going to close several referrals this year. So it's definitely like another little source of income.
A byproduct of putting out good content.
Yeah. And so that's one source of income right there is referrals. And then once you monetize your channel, you saw there, you made $23 off that one video in just a handful of days.
Yeah.
Probably gonna make a lot more than that by the time it's done.
You don't know Dallas. I don't know Dallas at all. And I don't want to know Dallas.
Yeah. So going back to your question about what's some of my best videos. I was in the Air Force for a long time, and I was stationed at Andrews Air Force Base, which is a big base here in Maryland. And so that's kind of like my community, or at least was. And so I made a video about PCSing, which is like relocating to this base. And I get so much business from this. I've probably closed 7-8 deals from this one YouTube video, but that video only has like 4,000 views. But it's the right kind of video. It's super specific. It's targeting people who are moving there. And so I've probably made like $50,000 in commission from one little YouTube video that's only up to about 4,000 views. And I get a lot of military leads in my area. So that's really like one of the best ones that I've done for lead generation, is about going to the specific military base. And then, one of my best videos is in terms of like monetization. It's probably the one that I did about 10 hacks to pay your mortgage off early. That one, I think I may have made like $3,500 off that one YouTube video. Plus I gained like 5,000 subscribers from that one YouTube video. So that's probably my best video in terms of actually making money from it.
So I can tell you where my best videos come from. When things that irritate me, I have to end up doing a video on it, right? So in this business, so how I created my channel is I listened to a lot of those like moving to Austin groups. I listened to all the questions that people asked, and I started getting a lot of business. And then all of a sudden I was like, these people are asking me the same questions, and I just need to do a video about this so they stop asking me this damn questions. Or they're, number one, I'll get people that move out here and they want to use their out-of-town lender. And in this market, it's so damn hot. Like, you can't use an out-of-town lender. It's just, don't. So I made a video about how to, like, the things you need to know when building and buying a new build. It wasn't like what you need to know. It's like, I think my content's a little bit different because I look at it from a different aspect, right? Like if you said, building a home, volume 1, I've seen a lot of agents do that, right? It's boring. So right. I talk a lot about the negatives. And I think, that draws people in. They want to hear the negatives, right? The downfalls. We will close. I already have in 2021, 9 million closing from new build construction from that video.
That's huge. Wow. Yeah, that's great, man. And so what was the video? Is it about a specific community or just about?
It was just about what you need to know when, here, I'll pull it up.
And then you go to the communities with them, get them registered and signed up.
I had clients fly in last week fly in. I met with them for 1 hour for coffee. I showed them one neighborhood, gave them a list of neighborhoods to go through. They put me down on every single one, and so our market's really tough right now as far as new builds, but we are on the list. They registered me. We are on the list. They are going to be building a 600 plus home.
That's
right.
That's the easiest 20K you've ever made.
Yeah, and that one's not under contract yet. So
yeah.
What was I going to show you? Oh, I was going to show you that video. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I don't do a lot with new construction, but I've been planning on doing a lot more with that.
Yeah, I did the real stuff you must know. This one right here.
Yeah, I like that title.
Yeah. You could thank Christina for all my snappy titles.
Titles are important, man. People don't realize that titles are super important.
Yeah. And, I think that's where, when you're building your content as well, number one, the title is important. Like I'm doing another video this week. I'm not going to tell you the topic yet, but I think I talked to you about it, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I know Ian's ready to steal it.
Yeah, Ian's going to jump on that.
But, it's a topic that, I get asked a question about all the time because of that another video. I get asked it all. So now I'm doing a follow-up video. And I think that's something. Do you do a lot of, like you'll do, like let's say you do a video that just kills. How long do you wait to put out a similar video to that? Question one. And number two, do you put a follow-up video out?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess I'm not that methodical with it. If I have a topic that works really well, yeah, I definitely like create similar content. Maybe I'll make that kind of like a pillar and make something similar to that. But yeah, I don't have a good answer for you with that. I'm sure Christina would be like, oh yeah, you got to wait 2 weeks and then make another video like that. But yeah.
So I will test this out coming Tuesday because it's a follow-up video to one of my other videos. Now I have a content stream that's the real stuff you must know, right? And so I will put out different videos about what you must know. And so I'm doing a follow-up that's not the same title. So Christina is going to slap me on the hand for not putting, but it's a follow-up similar category. So I'll let you know how that works. But yeah, the first video that I did that really took off is the real stuff you must know before moving to Texas. It did good. It's definitely in my analytics pile. Here, I'll go to my analytics on here real quick. Channel. Where? Oh, here we go. All right. Bring you back in. Let's do that one. So, on my analytics, the real stuff you must know about moving to Texas. This used to be like ranked right behind this video. And I'm going to talk about something important here too. This video I did in December did nothing for the longest time, did nothing. But now 2,033 views this month on it. So like real stuff you must know about Texas and real stuff Austin are my two best performing videos. This one's like 24,000 views, I think. But this was the follow-up to that one.
Yeah, look at that. 132 subscribers, $67. Nice.
Yeah, and that's after it's off too, because I wasn't monetizing then. So,
and it's ranking in search as well. So when people are doing research, they're finding that.
Christina would say that.
Yeah.
Your titles are real stuff. Yes, real stuff. Because I wanted to say real shit, and she said you can't say that on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah. So, all right, Malcolm, what tips for somebody that's going to be creating content, it's a newer agent, or maybe they're struggling with their channel? Like, what would you tell them? What content should they be doing? Because I see on specific groups, everybody's doing the pros and cons video, right? And you see 100 pros and cons videos. What content should people really be thinking about in order to create business?
So yeah, the best ones to generate leads, almost all of them have that phrase moving to or living in the title, right? That's just what people type in when they are interested in an area. They type in moving to Maryland, moving to Annapolis, or living in Maryland, living in Annapolis to kind of do that research. I mean, and it looks like a lot of your best videos have that moving to or living in the title of them as well. So the best stuff is make like a relocation guide type video, everything that somebody would want to know if they were going to move to your city. And that has like that lowest like view to lead ratio. Like you'll get, that's the type of video that actually generates you leads.
Nice. What video, I'm trying to think here. What video do you like? What video specifically, if somebody's struggling right now, what video right now should they make?
Pros and cons. I know it's kind of, everybody's doing it this year. Really just like this year, everybody's been doing those, but that pros and cons of living in blank, that really is, it's a simple formula, really easy for you to follow. And I mean, those are great at generating leads and getting views and getting clicks. Is a very clickable title.
So I'll tell you from my area, we have, I agree with you. I don't like the pros and cons videos because I don't like doing the same thing other people are doing. Right. But I think I've done one to see how it would work. And if I probably did a follow-up video, similar content, I probably would do very well with it. I just don't like the title pros and cons. That's why I do the real stuff. Right. And the real stuff, we talk about a lot of the negative things.
It could be pretty much the same thing. You know, like so much of the stuff could be same content. You just format it differently. You present the content differently.
Yeah, I just try not to do the same thing everybody else is doing. But if you're looking at like Javier's video, it was doing well, so I R&D'd it. You looked at how well my video was, and you did the same thing. So, I mean, it's easy to get offended in this. In being a real estate YouTuber, it's easy to get offended if somebody else is doing your content. But at the same time, you should really like take it as a compliment. If it's doing well, even if they're in your market, like I had like 3 girls that are literally copying all my content. I see them do it, and it's hysterical because they're actually helping my channel grow. You know, they're different than I am. I'm sure they're getting business off of it. I hope they're getting business off of it if they're going to put the time into it. But everybody's different. You know, they're probably helping me by taking those specific clients that would go to them because it wouldn't be my, you know, client base anyway, right? And that's where I'm going to ask this very specific question. If you're doing content, like let's say right now, if you're doing content and a lot of and you have an area that's wide ranging, like if you're in an area where it's like 300,000 is like the top end of where homes are. But if you're in an area outside of that, it's a little bit bigger market area and you're in a below 500K price point consistently. What do you think content wise somebody should do to start getting leads in a higher price point?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So one thing I want to try to do is targeting move down buyers, right? Because move down buyers, and what I mean by that is people who have homes that they need to sell and they want to move into something smaller. Like 50, so you can do content about like 55 plus communities or something, you know, top 55 plus communities in your city, something like that. And good thing with those is you often get a seller and a buyer with that. And then, yeah, it's just kind of what type of communities you're making videos about or what areas in your city you're making videos about as well. And I would say that I think, now you do kind of wonder, is production value, would that help you get a higher price point? It could be, you know, it very well could be that if you have a higher production value, that, you know, people at the higher echelons may look at that, but a lot of them may not as well. But yeah, really just kind of, I'm planning on targeting a lot of those move down buyers in the next handful of months.
So I'll say from my standpoint of where I'm at, what we've done, I've integrated, my price point was under 5 for the longest time. It's well over 5 now. And what we've done on my end is in my content, I will, number one, I've made the point of where the median price in Austin is. And I make a lot of content about the prices over that median price point. All my videos, I talk about communities over that price point. I talk about, luxury neighborhoods. I'll talk about higher price point neighborhoods. At the beginning of this year, my median price is around 380. We've closed 8 homes in October, 7 million in volume in October. I just closed a $2.3 million cash buyer from the Bay Area. And I was kind of asking like, hey, what video was it? And they just said, you know what? You talked about all these luxury homes and you talked about the areas that we were thinking about. So that's why we picked you. So I talked about Zilker Park, high dollar area. I talked about, specific areas, but I didn't, I just said, hey, if you want this, here's this. And I talked about it. I didn't make it like this, salesy, like, oh, I sell $1 million homes. Like, oh, I just said, here's some great, I'm in a polo every day, all my videos in a polo like you. And I'm getting a lot of like more higher worth clients. And I think it's, as long as you're continuing to put out content, and as long as you're putting out content in a different price point, even if you want to get to that price point, you don't know that price point, just put out content in it.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Definitely.
I have a list of 250 videos. I need to talk less at the beginning and get more consistent.
Well, that's 250 videos. So if you did one video a week, that's only 52 videos a year. So that's 5 years it would take you to make 250 videos.
Yeah, Rebecca has said the same thing. I get, I don't get much of the 250 price point anymore because of that.
Good. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, if you say, hey, top 5 neighborhoods in Austin, Texas, and you can kind of cherry pick what those neighborhoods are.
Yeah, and it's all subjective, right? And as long as you're telling people, you're being subjective. Now, I've had people criticize me on my channel that I only talk about the higher price points. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to ask you a very good question. I just lost it.
But yeah, I mean, the last year I started making content about Annapolis as well, instead of content about the military folks. And with a lot of my military buyers and sellers, they are in that $300 to $400, $100,000 price range. But I started making content about Annapolis. Annapolis is a pretty expensive city, and I've gotten several, million plus leads from that content as well. So it's just like you said, it's what areas you choose to make content about. And I think
that goes back to my first point too. Like, there's no reason to sell people, right? Like, there's no reason to be a salesperson. I think that's what's hard, is some people make it all about sales. Now you can do the fancy real estate, listing video where you're in a suit, but I think if you're making content and you're talking to people like real people, not treating them as a potential client, I think that's the thing. People spend too much time treating people as potential clients versus just people. So, all right, here is a very good question. I think this also falls in content, so that's why I want to put it towards the end. How do you get your channel out there to get subscribers if you're not asking for people to subscribe? Patricia, thank you for the question.
So the best way to get somebody to subscribe is get them to watch 2 or 3 of your videos in a row. If somebody watches 3 of your videos in a row, really good chance that they're going to subscribe. Now, like, if somebody does watch, let's say they sit down and watch 3 of your videos in a row, they don't subscribe, something magical happens on YouTube. YouTube is going to stalk that person with your videos for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So when they open up their YouTube homepage, they're going to see your videos on their homepage. When they're watching something else, you're going to see your videos on the suggested sidebar. If they do a search, they're going to see your videos in the search, all because they watch 2 or 3 of your videos in a row. So if they keep seeing your content, and they don't subscribe, you're probably not going to get them to subscribe anyway, whether you ask them or not. But that is the best way, is just to get them to watch more of your videos. So to get them to do that, that's where creating content in pillars or in buckets comes in. So if they watch your real stuff you need to know about one area, if you have another video just like that about another area, they're much more likely to jump over and watch that video as well. So start creating content in pillars, and your call to action at the end of your video should be, hey, click right here to watch another one of these videos. That's the best way to get subscribers on YouTube.
So if somebody has a 0 channel, right? Like, you put your first video up, no subscribers, you sit back and you go, nobody's watched it, nothing. I have a suggestion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're much smarter than I am at this. So I would recommend, instead of taking that specific video and posting that specific video, get your channel art nice, do your like little video where you can tag it. So if they come to your channel, just be like, hi, I'm Patricia. I'm in the, Dallas area. This whole channel is about helping you. And I'd love to help you. All my information is below, whatever. But I would not make it super salesy. So make that your tag video, right? That you hold, your place card video. So when they come back, they see it. Like if you go
your trailer
video. Yeah. I always forget what that's called. See, I'm not a very good YouTuber. So like my channel, right here. Oh, you can't hear it, but it's going.
Yeah, we can't see your channel.
Here we go. right? So this is my trailer video, right? Austin, Texas has become a tech.
So trailer.
Companies like Facebook, so that's what I'm talking about. Your trailer
Oracle,
video.
Google,
hold on, this is so
Apple,
loud.
all bringing their company.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So make that video, put that up, right? Make it your first video, and then the next video you put out. What I would start doing is take your channel link, not your YouTube link to a video, but just be like, hey guys, on your Facebook page. Yes, I know I've said not to do that, but go to your Facebook page, put the link for your channel, not a specific video, and just say, hey, look, I'm really working hard on my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you'd take a look at my channel. If you like it, just throw me a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. That'll at least start to get you some subscribers. They have the ability to subscribe or not to subscribe. But if you're sending them to a specific video, and I could be wrong, and they jump off that video and they don't watch that video, now you're giving them their choice to watch whatever videos on your channel. But you're going to need some content out before you really start doing that. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with that. There are people who can grow audiences from Facebook. And it's really just about making sure that it's only getting in front of the right audience. Like, you don't want your family members or other real estate agents to subscribe to you. So if you have a business page or a local community, maybe you could share your channel in there. I have nothing really wrong with that. Same thing with like email lists as well. So if you have past clients or something. And then I'd also say that another factor to get people to subscribe is if you have content. If you literally have one video, it's very hard to get anybody to subscribe to a channel with one video. They kind of want to see that you have a track record to get a good feel for what type of content you're going to be uploading. So if you have a bunch of like lame videos or not really great videos or something, people aren't going to be as likely to subscribe to that as well. So just keep that in mind, that they're going to look at your library of videos, and that's going to influence whether or not they want to subscribe to you.
Rebecca asked Patricia what part of Dallas she's in. So throw that in the comments. Okay, let me go back to us. Boom. So what other advice would you give anybody that's just, you're the content king, obviously. I've labeled you that. So now that's your moniker. So what other advice would you give anybody that's really struggling to get their channel off the ground?
Right. Yeah. So, well, let's talk a little bit about quality versus quantity, and I view it as a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, you could take out your phone and upload 10 videos in one day, but they're pretty low quality, production quality, quantity quality, or content quality, but you can get a lot of quantity with that. And at the other end of the spectrum, you can do one video a month, and it takes you forever to edit and film and script out that one video. And you have to kind of find a good equilibrium between these two extremes here. And I tell people that when they're first starting off, lean more towards the quantity. Just get some content out there, just get something on your channel, get some experience with it. That way you get a little bit more comfortable presenting and editing and being, kind of getting some experience with YouTube. And then as you get more experience, then try to move further towards that quality side of things. That's when you do want to spend more time planning and editing and filming your videos. But when you're first starting off, I generally just say lean more towards the quantity and just try to get some content up there, just to kind of get your channel filled in a little bit and start getting some experience with that.
Okay. All right. So let's see, any other questions here yet? Yeah, I agree with all that. I think, as long as you're, working to get better and following other people's content and doing everything Malcolm just said, I think you're going to be successful. And, the other thing is surround yourself in good groups where you're getting good information. I think the Real Estate YouTube Mastermind is a very good group. There's a lot of great people in there. Karen has a group. I think there's a lot of good content that gets thrown around in there as well. I really don't like the watch, like, comment thing. I think, I'm pretty passionate about, why I'm so passionate about that is I went 6 months where I was like, less than that, about 5 months where I was putting all this content, wondering why I wasn't getting any foothold. And it was because I kept sharing my links. I put them in groups on Facebook or whatever. Once I stopped doing that, all of a sudden YouTube figured out my channel, and then boom. All right. So that's all I got. Malcolm, man, I appreciate you jumping on. Spend an hour and 5 minutes with me talking about YouTube. you know, just as a plug, if you ever want me to come on your channel, I will.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We can definitely do that. On my real estate channel. I'm doing my first like collab, I guess, with Christina. I'm doing a live stream on her real estate channel. I haven't done that really on my real estate channel yet, but it seems to be working pretty well for a few people. I may have to R&D that one and have some folks on.
Yeah, I would say, you know, because I had Ian on, I've had Tim Macy on my channel, I've had Casey McCallan out of Dallas. Sorry, Rebecca, you're next.
And how did this work out for you? Pretty good.
I mean, I'm getting referrals out of them. I'm sending referrals out. So my live streams have been, you know, they're live streams. I bring them on. I mean, I'll have 30 people watching the entire time, tons of comments and questions. We'll put together some good stuff. Ian and I had a very good one talking about North versus South Austin.
Right. Good one.
He's North Austin, I'm South. So we kind of battled it out. I mean, I was struggling with coming up with good North content. So I said, hey, Ian, come on my channel, helped promote his channel a little bit as well. And that's the crazy thing. Like people are like messaging me like, why would you bring an agent in your market on? It's a perspective. I had Keenan Beck on my channel. We talked about investing in Austin. I mean, I've had a lot of investors reach out to me. I realized I probably should stop talking about that because I'm tired of investors. I talked about the East Side. So I'd say like, if you're struggling and you want to do a video, Rebecca, on Fort Worth and Dallas, bring on somebody from Fort Worth. Like they're going to they're on your channel. So they're going to reach out to you. Right. Even if you're helping Patricia's channel, just as an example, you know, by getting her a few more subscribers, like, you know, the information that they're going to give you on your channel, just like you coming on this second channel, is valuable, and people will still come out and call you and reach out to you.
Yeah, I think so. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Katie Day, who will never be on my channel. Just kidding, Katie Day. Katie Day's out of Houston. I love Katie Day. She's my favorite, probably one of my favorites, because she takes an abuse from me about living in Houston. But all right, there you go. Jeremy and I with the Night Group. Malcolm, man, I appreciate your time. Man. I really do. So again, before we end this, I have to say one thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do in the YouTube channels, for agents, for me, everything. Man, my channel has been a massive success for me. You know, success is varied, however somebody wants to view success, but I feel like my success is partly due to you. So I thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, Christina and I, like at the beginning of this year, we just got so frustrated with all that misinformation, and we're like, man, we got to get some good information out there and kind of start helping people out with this. And I love that we have like a little community now on YouTube or on Facebook where we can really talk and mastermind and brainstorm and kind of work with each other. So, yeah.
And I feel like it raises the level of video that gets too, right? You know, Rebecca, I've seen Rebecca put out some really good videos. Katie Day, while I give her a hard time, puts out some pretty cool videos. Ian, I love Ian. So, I mean, a lot of these people, Rebecca, Patricia, I am excited to see where your channel goes. So definitely reach out. All right. That's it. That's all I got for today. I got to go eat lunch. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.